guys, how you doing? Welcome to week two. Okay, week one is in the books, so to speak. So we had our cover letter or our introductory letter, and then we had our tasks. Task one, we had our introductory letter, cover letter, and we got that in, and I've got some feedback there, so I'll be looking forward to your final submissions there. I haven't looked at them yet. Today's Thursday. So, and then task two, we had our creative brief. The creative brief also, I gave you guys some really detailed comments in the feedback there. So you should be able to, I want to mention something also, guys. Feel free to read each other's posts, okay? Because it's quite certain that there's going to be things in your classmates' posts that are directly relevant to your own work. So this is a public forum, so this is open game. I mean, you can read anything in these forums that you want. So please be sure to read each other's the critiques that I've left for your students as well. Okay, so week one. Now let's jump over to week two. I want to talk about week two a little bit real quick. We've got week two learning activities, and in the announcements I'll have this in the weekly announcement. I'll have this. Welcome to week two, welcome to Milestone 2. And then we'll have recap week one, and then we'll kind of introduce week two. And then every week I'll give you this list. It's your required reading and your listed deliverables just to assist you. You guys have enough to do, so I'm just going to put out your deliverables in your schedule right there, so it's right in front of you in the weekly announcement. I will just say this, in week two, we have week two, M2 learning activities, Milestone 2 learning activities. You do not want to skip this, guys. The reading in the book is just as important. It's this chapter, What is a Logo? Please read that. And definitely go through these required activities, because I'm going to be honest with you, okay? You're going to be lost in the assignments if you don't go through these first. I guarantee it. I've gone through each one of these very carefully, and I've also, put these next to the assignment objectives, the task objectives, and they coincide. So definitely read those. Do not attempt to do any of the tasks without first reading the learning activities. And of course we have our, here's our required reading right there. So let's take a look at Milestone 2, Task 1. Now in Milestone 2, Task 1, you're going to create a word list, okay? And this is 20 words. It's going to be 10 words for abstract subjective traits and 10 words for objective qualities, okay? What's the difference? If you go down here, guys, I gave this response to one of our classmates who asked some questions. And I put it like this, okay? The word list should be comprised of 20 words. That's 10 objective words and 10 subjective words. Okay, the word should describe how you want your client to be perceived by the target audience. Okay, objective words should describe unique qualities of your client. These are objective. These are things that are facts, okay, like unique or customer driven. All right. And then subjective are things that are emotional. These are things that you perceive of the client, things like eccentric or arrogant, okay? It's really important to make those distinctions, because you're going to do 10 sketches of each. 10 objective sketches, I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. 10 words each. They're going to be 10 objective words and 10 subjective words. Okay, that's a total of 20 words. All right, let's jump to Milestone 2. You are going to take your 20 words and you're going to sketch them out. You have to create thumbnails and sketches exploring and coding selected elements of the client's identities. Thumbnail sketches will be based on the words you have prepared for M2 Task 1. Okay, so this is a lot of sketching, guys. It's 40 sketches total. All right, so you're going to take your 10 subjective traits, okay, and you're going to take your 10 subjective traits and your 10 objective traits, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to sketch each one of those words using a pictorial representation of each word, okay? And then you're going to take each one of those 20 words and create an abstract sketch of each word, right? What's the difference between pictorial and abstract? Well, let's say I'm using the word fire. All right, and I know I'm not going to use a word that's directly, because I don't want to give you guys too much, but I'm just going to use an unrelated word. Okay, so let's say I use the word fire. How do I pictorially represent the word fire? Well, I draw flames and maybe little logs and maybe a little smoke coming off, like a little campfire, right? Now, how do I draw an abstract representation of the word fire? Well, it could just be a red triangle. Okay, so we have a pictorial representation of the word and an abstract representation of the word. So you're going to take all your words, your 20 words. Okay, you're going to give me a sketch of each of those 20 words in a pictorial representation. Then you're going to go back to each of those 20 words and you're going to give an abstract representation of each of those. Okay, now these are thumbnails, guys. These are ideas for your logo. Okay, so they have to be detailed like a logo because the next step, these are going to be turned into logos in Illustrator. All right. So once you get your 40 sketches in, we'll look at them and we'll decide which ones to move forward with. Again, remember that's 20 pictorial representations and 20 abstract representations. Okay, let's jump over to milestone 2, task 3, and let's take a look at your sketch development. So based on the feedback from your sketches, okay, you're gonna pick two thumbnail sketches and you're gonna refine them in Adobe Illustrator. Okay, hang on one second. So how do we pick the sketches we're gonna move forward with? Well, you'll have one pictorial representation of the concept and one abstract representation of the concept. So in my example, it was fire. So my finals would be my pictorial representation of fire with the campfire drawn out, and then my abstract representation, the red triangle. Okay, you're going to be using color in this, and these are done in Adobe Illustrator, okay? Not Photoshop, definitely in Illustrator. So, and then finally, you go through this steps for success because it gives you some parameters of the sizes to work in, etc. And then what we'll do for milestone 2 final submission is we'll take, same thing as we all do with all our final submissions, is that we just go through the words of recommendation, the recommendations and the critiques that you receive from myself as well as your classmates, and you'll develop accordingly. Okay, so you'll have your word list, your thumbnail sketches, and your developed sketches. Okay, and then that's due Wednesday. So as you can see, there's so much to do this week. It's really, really imperative that we really get on this quickly, okay? I know it's a lot to wrap your head around. Abstract, pictorial, subjectives, objective. Spend some time here, guys, before you start, because it's going to be really, really imperative that we get this down because we have to move on. All right, guys, that's what I have. I hope that helps. I'm certain it will. But if you have any questions, comments, or concerns whatsoever, please get with me as soon as you possibly can, and I'll see if I can clarify that the best way I possibly can. All right? A great job on week 1, guys, and looking forward to jumping into milestone 2. Thanks very much, everyone.